Hi everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here, back from Portugal. As you can see, I'm back in the office. Had a good vacation, and of course, this is the weekend video. We'll go through what happened last week, and wow, what a week it was. Biggest week of the year for the indexes. So question is, what do we got coming up for the rest of the year? A lot of people still looking for more gains as we go into one of the more bullish parts of the year. So let's get down, look at what happened last week, and then we'll try to figure out where we're going next week. Okay, so as always, let's start out with a quick week in review, and what a week it was. Of course, we got the outcome of the US election favoring Trump and the Republicans, probably a little bit more than what was anticipated. Thought to be a very close race, didn't really turn out to be that way, so a bit of a surprise there. And then following the election results, we had Fed Powell deliver another quarter point rate cut, which was pretty much as expected, telegraphed. And of course, the markets really liked the idea that probably going to see tax cuts, or at least no increase in taxes, probably less regulation for companies. And that really lit a fire under the markets here. And you can see how the Dow, Q, SPY, and the IWM, which gained almost 9%, biggest gainer on the week, as markets really had a fire lit under it, as I said. It was really hard to pick out the biggest sector gainers because there were so many. That were up over 4 or 5%. Industrials and consumer cyclicals, I mean, they were the ones that were up the most. But like I said, lots of sectors up. And there really weren't any sectors down this week. Utilities and consumer staples, your typical safety trades, they still gained, but they were the lowest gainers on the week. 2-year inched up a little bit there. 10-year crept down a little bit. And so not really a lot of change in the treasury, and the dollar strengthened a lot probably on the outcome of the election. And Bitcoin really blew out as I guess the Republicans sort of favor a more lax or a more friendly approach to Bitcoin and the altcoins. So yeah, it broke out from that 72,000 level, and we'll take a look at that chart in a minute. But that was your week in review. And before we move forward, as always, like to do a quick plug for my efforts here. These are my books on Amazon: How to Swing Trade, very popular book, and Profiting as an Active Trader, a little bit more intensive look at how to swing trade. And then, of course, my latest book, How to Trade Options, both as far as day trading and swing trading, or even position trading. So all those books there, if you want to check them out, they're on Amazon in all the different formats: audio, electronic, or hard copy. All right, so as always, let's start out with the indexes. But I always like to start out, when I'm looking at the indexes, like to start out with the treasury or the bond market here. And you can see price of the bonds. The TLT is the price. It's an ETF and longer term. And you can see here it's been going down, which means yields have been going up. So probably in anticipation of more deficit spending and a need for higher yields to attract investment or money to get investors and what they feel is an adequate return, given the risk if the deficits are going to continue to rise. But it does look kind of like we're trying to find a bottom here. Maybe yields are going to start to drop off a bit, which means the price of the bonds will start to go up. So we'll be watching for that. I'm just going to watch to see if we can break above this moving average, because that would be good if the yields start to drop again. Could be good for utilities or the real estate sector. So it's keeping an eye on that next week, and we'll talk about some of the stocks ETFs I'm watching for next week. Dollar strong again, sort of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Lots of strength there on the dollar. Probably because of the potential for continued growth, especially compared to some of the other markets, some of the other like the euro and and Japanese yen. And you can see here Qs again. This is going to be kind of a common story. It really broke out after the election, especially Thursday, Friday. and or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday really had a breakout, but looking a little toppy here. We're really getting extended from these moving averages, so I'm thinking we're going to should get a bit of a breather next week on this. We just can't keep ripping higher. But never say never. Again, sort of same story on the SPY, new high breaking out. Looking a little bit maybe tired on Friday, but huge run up and getting away from those moving averages. Same story on the Dow. Not going to keep repeating myself here. And IWM really, again, the big performer of the week. Let's wait for it to load. You can see here, big gap up on Wednesday after the election results were out, and Thursday, Friday is still looking pretty strong here. So it's we may get a continuation on the IWM for that, but again, volume big on Wednesday, just kind of dropping back off here to more normal volume as we got to Friday. And Bitcoin, as I mentioned already, this level here somewhere around 72,000, 73,000. And we got that big breakout, and of course it was trading overnight when the market in Bitcoin was open and election results started to come in. So you see we got that big move actually on sort of Tuesday over Tuesday, Wednesday, and again looking like it's having trouble getting higher at this point. May do some consolidation, may do a little bit of a pullback to this moving average, but I think the overall consensus is Bitcoin could be moving higher here, maybe pushing to 100,000 by the end of the year. So anything's possible. So that was it for the indexes. So taking a look at some of the active trades I've got on, as I said, I wasn't trading a lot last week because I was away from my trading desk and knew I wouldn't be able to sort of monitor positions very well, but I'm still in this TD trade. My calls that I had sold to the upside, they rolled off, expired. I resold more calls to the upside. Those are covered calls, and it's basically just taking in income every couple of weeks, percent or so, and that's all covered in my options book, how you can continue to write covered calls and collect premium if you think a stock's not sort of stuck in a range for a while. And that's what I'm doing with this one. And I'll continue to do it. ABCL, I think it did have this conference. You can see it dropped down, but it came right back up. And I sold it when it came back up to break even. Kind of a disappointment. I really was hoping it might be a catalyst to move it up here, but anyway, break-even trade on that. Didn't really work out. CRWD, I've been holding here, and finally started to break out. I'm kind of looking for this gap fill. Didn't quite get it, but might look at selling the rest of it, or selling more of it on Monday, because I was hoping for a little bit of a push higher there, but we almost got to fill this gap here, and maybe we will next week. So. Holding on to that. UVXY, I had that going in and sold it prior to the election because, again, I don't like holding things that could move a lot during binary events such as earnings or once every 4 years elections. And obviously glad I got out of that because we had quite a drop on after the election came out and the markets really ripped higher. So that's what happened last week for some of my active trade positions. So let's take a look at some things I'll be watching next week. I'm really trying to find some stuff, but a lot of stuff is really extended after those last couple of days. Looked like we might get a break, but I don't think there's going to be any substantial pullbacks. I think any pullbacks are probably going to be bought on stocks that have been breaking out here. But BABA's kind of interesting. Could be interesting for a short. I'm looking for maybe a gap fill. Back to sort of the 90 area from 94 where we are right now. So it looks like, China is continuing to struggle to get things going with their economy. And of course, now you've got potential for more tariffs. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. I mean, politicians talk a lot during the election, make promises, and some of them get fulfilled and others kind of get forgotten. So I'm not really sure how aggressive he's going to be, Trump's going to be with the new, and of course that won't be coming for a couple months anyway. So, but again, China still probably under a lot of pressure here as we get closer to that switch in power. IBIT, this again, I've got a couple of plays here on Bitcoin. You can see here it's started to break out. Of course, it had a big day Wednesday after the election, Thursday, Friday. Looking a little tired. I'd look for a bit of a pullback. I'd mentioned if interest rates start to drop off a little bit, XLU might be interesting. Had a good day on Friday as the interest rates dropped a bit. We're right under this moving average, but I'll be watching this one next week, possibly taking a long position, maybe if we can get back up to that 82 level. Here's another altcoin trade here. This is it's not really, it's kind of tough to see this, but that's Ether. You can see here we've also broken out on Ether as well, so could be an interesting stock to play if you've got your favorite Ether stock. It could be benefiting from favorable view from the new administration. So just a couple ideas there. Again, watch the treasuries, see if we the yields continue to drop. I'd be surprised if they do, because I really think they're going to have higher interest rates to attract investor money, given the yield or the deficits keep rising, and it seems like there's nobody that really wants to take that issue on. So but price is everything, so we'll just keep watching the price on the treasuries. And that's it for potentials right now. So let's wrap things up here. Week of November 11th, there's your levels on the Dow, Q, SPY, and IWM with support and resistance. Monday is Veterans Day. The bond market will be closed. It's also Remembrance Day in Canada for all you Canadians. Shout out to our servicemen and women out there doing their best to keep us safe, and appreciate your service. So that's on Monday. Wednesday we do have CPI and PPI data. Thursday, so that'll be some interesting data, but I don't really think there's going to be anything surprising there. And we're through a lot of the earnings, but we still got some more interesting ones coming up this week. You can see Shop is there, and some of the Bitcoin ones like Hut 8 and Mara. We do have Disney and AMAT, and then Chinese stocks also sort of coming up here later this week. We've got Baba on Friday. So that's it, everyone. Again, shout out to our veterans and servicemen and women out there. And as I always say at the end of the video, join us 8 o'clock, pre-market show, live on YouTube, and we can take you right through into the open and trade online with us. So hopefully we'll see you there Monday morning. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye for now.